Hey, welcome everybody. This is Terry Palma and Bev Thompson, and we're here for another session of Conscious Gatherers. Bev, you with us?
Yes, welcome everybody, and thank you, Terry.
Great. So this is our third session, and I hope you've been getting the recordings. The platform we're using right now is Free Conference Call, and we're exploring and looking for different platforms where you can access and have this the shows at your leisure. But right now, Bev will be sending out links for each show that we have, and but we'll keep you up to date on what's going on. Any news from your side, Bev?
Yeah, a question that we had talked about and discussed is, are there a way for people to ask questions or leave comments? And now that can be done through Facebook. I have a Facebook page called The Gathering of Angels, and then I have sent out notices through my subscriber list when I did have a website called The Gathering of Angels, which I do not anymore. But anyway, people can contact me there. Is there any other contact information that you have, Terry, at this point?
Yes. Let's say that when they want to get hold of either of us, I've got an answering service where they could call in, get a recording, just says, hello, you've reached Terry Palma, and leave a message. So that number is 864-999-3008. And if you call in and you want to speak with Beverly, just simply give your name and phone number and say, I would like Beverly to give me a call. Or if you're calling in for myself, say, I'd like Terry to give me a call. Make sure you designate which one you're calling for and leave your name and phone number and the best time to reach you. That's all recorded. We'll get a notice that someone has left a message, and we'll return that call as soon as possible. Is that what you're looking for, Bev?
That is. Thank you.
Yep. Absolutely. So for our new listeners, my name is Terry Palma. Bev and I have been friends for years. We used to be part of a group called the Gathering of Angels, an angel group. We've probably disbanded that a good 4 or 5 years ago, I guess now, Bev.
I think it's more like 15.
Wow, that long, huh?
It is.
Time rolls.
It is.
Well,
amazing, isn't it?
Decided to come back and share our what we're doing, our journey. We think the time is right now for people to reawaken to who they really are. I'll speak for myself, but I believe we're a sleeping conscious, interacting with other sleeping consciousnesses, and that at any time we can awaken to our true consciousness and who we are. And that's my purpose for getting together with Bev, and I believe hers too, but I'll let her address that. So each week we'll have a 30-minute show right now, and we'll take some time to share our thoughts and our feelings and actually give some tools to help with everyday situations, but also tools that can help awaken the sleeping consciousness to who we really are. Bev, who are you?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, a little bit more about me. I've written some books, 3 books, in fact, called Mystery of the Universes. So much of the information that I will give to you all comes from the books or just from me being the intuitive and the scribe that I am. So, what comes to me, I share. So I do write quite a few blogs, and I do post them in a couple places. One is through my subscriber list, and if you want to get on that subscriber list, let me know. And Terry gave you the number, and the other place is through the Federation of Light, which is a great website where a lot of people that write in, and there's all kinds of different subjects that people share, and it's all over the world too. So I want to further what Terry was just saying, and it goes into some of the information I received quite a while ago in my first book. And I'm going to repeat a little bit about what I talked about last week regarding the great experiment. But first, I wanted to share this information, and it's, again, from my first book, but I thought it helps people understand where we're coming from and where we're going, and that's as humanity in this earth. So start out with information from a writing called the Book of Kings. This is from my first book called Mystery of the Universes, A Prophecy Fulfilled. It says, the minds of great civilizations are combining to produce a new paradigm, this physical rapture. And then take a look at that word rapture. And that's been used in a lot of religions, but what it actually means here is a state of great delight or ecstasy. So that's a really neat way of looking at it. So what we're doing, we're moving into worlds of beauty, light, and love. And new manifestations, our creations, will occur with the new thought forms that have existed in the many realms, because we're from many different realms. So I was told you are the masters of the divine. So think about that. That's a biggie. We are. We have embodied many, many, many lives simultaneously. However, on this earth plane, we've put into place a timeline, which is an accountability of our various life streams. And in so doing, we've created another matrix of living life. And this part of living life is just another aspect of ourselves. So now now that we have determined that this life stream is to move in or develop into a more realized body of divine energy. Just a way of saying it, divine energy. The energy is changing because we have decreed it so. We are them. We are the manifestors. We are part of Creator of all that is. And so to repeat what we talked about last week regarding the great experiment, and here's the words I was given. Humanity, as part of Creator of all that is, experiencing duality through the veil of separation. All right? Now, what is happening, we're moving beyond that veil. That veil has been coming thinner and thinner and thinner, and we're starting to be much more aware. And we can see it. Look what's going on in the world. It's a pretty crazy world out there, and all the things that we're going through us individually. So what is happening, we're moving into what's called the grand plan, and what that means is we're bringing more light into our physicality, this meat suit or body suit, all these words that a lot of people have used. But it's basically taken the form out of the great experiment, again, our bodies, reaching new levels of understanding within the total matrix of divine creation. So humanity and our beautiful earth are ascending into the new earth. I'm going to go a little bit further on that and talk about self-love. Again, we've touched upon that in previous episodes, but it is so important as we understand what is going on with us and ourselves. Everybody is important, every one of us. So I think we need to know that, and then we'll start acting on it. And Terry's going to help us with some tools in just a bit. So regarding self-love, all right, we had talked about that we're part of our higher selves or source self, whatever you want to call it. We have ancient imprints and programs that we have lived through in our many incarnations. And those programs we gave a lot of credit to, but now they no longer serve us. And we're starting to see some of those programs because we've become entrapped in some of those programs. And if people want to stay there, that's fine. But there's a lot of people saying, I don't want to do this anymore. So to change requires a big commitment and responsibility. So honor yourself and each other. So as we are incorporating our spirituality in all aspects of our lives, so assume you're magnificent. Remember, it's a choice. We are not victims of our history. We are masters of our destiny. So, Terry, do you want to add to this?
Well, first of all, let our listeners know what book that's from so that if they want to go and get it, either in Kindle or in hard copy, they can.
Yeah, it's, I'll repeat that. It's Mystery of the Universes. This is the first book, and it's the subtitle is A Prophecy Fulfilled. And the reason it's called A Prophecy Fulfilled is those are the words I was first given when I started writing. And I thought it was kind of odd, like, whose prophecy is this? And I found out that it was my own. So in previous lives, I plan to write these books, and at this time of our rapture or ascension, whatever words you want to use. So it is available in a paperback version. It's on online bookstores, Amazon, whomever, Barnes & Noble. There's quite a few. And then it's also available on Kindle, which is Amazon only. So there's 2 places to get it.
Fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, I remember re-listening to last week's show, and you had mentioned that, and I'm glad you circled back to that so that some of our listeners could explain what that was and such. So that was excellent information. So I believe last week for my session, I talked about some tools that I was going to share, some practical tools that I've used throughout the years, and I learned to help us manage or get insight into maybe something that's triggering us in the moment. Something has bothered us. Something is making us fearful. We're becoming angry or anxious, and there's a way to shift that emotion and to actually go find out what it's all about, so that you can deal with it in the moment. And I call this the technique called freeze frame. So you all know that when you make a movie or the old movies, they made it one frame at a time, and they would swirl the reel real fast, and that's how you got motion pictures. Well, think of one frame. That's what it's called, freeze frame. We're going to look at one frame. So the technique's called freeze frame, because I like to give you a reference point so that you can bring it into. And what you do in this freeze frame is there's basically 4 steps, maybe 5, but they're very easy, and they can all be done within 60 seconds, and you can be searching for an answer. So if you'll just calmly sit where you are and close your eyes for a minute and take a couple of deep breaths, and I'll go through the steps with you. So step number 1 we call shift. And so when you're in a situation where you realize you're anxious or scared or whatever it may be for you, freeze frame, stop and shift your awareness from your head to your heart. And the easiest way to do that is place your right hand over your heart, your chest area where your heart is, and just start breathing through that area, through your hand and through your heart, until you have moved all of your awareness to that location in your body. And that's step 1, that's the shift. Step 2 is to activate. When I mean activate, is what I want you to do. Once you're in the heart and your awareness is there, I want you to remember or think of a situation where you felt extremely happy, extremely pleasurable, some experience. Recall it. And once you've recalled it, I want you to relive it. I want you to feel it. I want you to be there. So we're activating the feelings of that great experience that you had, whether it was with somebody, someone said something to you, or they made you feel extremely happy. That's step 2, is activate. And then 3 is really to feel it, to live it, to relive it, not just to remember it, but to be there again and to feel it. And then 4 is simply ask yourself the question, what caused me to start this process? What was making me anxious? What was making me fearful? Why was I unhappy? And then step 5 is to be quiet and listen, because the answer will come to you. You could also ask, what better way could I deal with this thing that I'm dealing with? And the answer will come to you. And the more often you do this, even just practicing the shifting, the first 3 steps of stop, shift, activate, and feel, then when you really need them and you simply say freeze frame, you can immediately, instantly be through those first steps and ask your question, why is this happening? What better way can I deal with it? And then at the end, just say, thank you, I love you. A very strong, powerful, I might add, scientifically proven technique that has been taught to thousands of people currently through an organization called HeartMath in Northern California. But it's a very, very strong tool that I share with all of my students and anybody that comes to see me for any kind of guidance. Well, Bev, back to you.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. And it's a wonderful tool to use, especially now as things come up in our lives. And seems like we've been releasing forever. And what that means, again, we're getting rid of what no longer serves us and saying, I don't want to do that anymore. And we find that our what we want to do is different than what it used to be, and it's fine. We're just wonderful creator beings. One thing that as I was looking through some things for today's show is I was told, and I thought it was fun, that our heart chakra, which is exactly what Terry was talking about, is really the mission control of our physical lives. Just think of that, mission control. That's a great definition of that. And then our brains are actually more like a computer. So, you'll think it comes from the head, but it really comes through the heart. It's our mission control center. So it's a way to look at it. And so, it's like, as Terry said, freeze frame. You're putting your hand over your heart, and you're shifting your energy down into that area. Again, mission control center. And so it'll be, the more we do this, the easier it will become. And that mission control center will open up more and more. And it'll let us know what information comes through, because it is through us, our internal self. Not inside our body per se, but it's our conscious energy, if that makes sense to you all. So any more information there that you want to add, Terry?
Well, just to give them some reference points, you can look up that the material at heartmath.com. And also, I think they've got software you can buy there for measurement. The scientific part, I believe, is at heartmath.org. They're a nonprofit organization. Their products that they sell and market are at .com. Also, during these sessions, we'll give you references to go and look up things, to go buy books, Bev's books. I'll have books to recommend to read through. But for this week, my recommendations is check out HeartMath. Very, very strong, scientifically based organization that is really spiritually minded. I had the honor of going and spending a weekend at their center in Northern California, and was certified to be a one-on-one instructor with HeartMath. And I've done that actually since 9/11. I was supposed to be there that weekend. It was canceled to the following month because of 9/11. So it's been that long since I've been certified with HeartMath.
Well, it's interesting.
We're at the point where we really could open it up for questions. I'm not sure if anybody's here with us yet. We're so early in our sessions, and I know you've been putting it out. But if anybody's on the line, this would be the time to just unmute your phones. If somehow you muted yourself by hitting *6, you can hit *6 again. That'll unmute you. And you're welcome to ask either myself or Bev any question that you'd like, if anybody's there. All right. I didn't think anybody was there, but I wanted to give you a chance. Bev, if that's all I have for this session. If you have anything, share it now, please. Otherwise, We'll close the session till next week.
Well, remember, as we truly love ourselves, and that means unconditionally, by the way, and we have self-acceptance. Again, Terry's tools will help you get there. Then we will no longer need to get love and acceptance from others. And when we don't need to get that from others, then we'll find that it naturally comes more easily from others in a genuine, authentic way. So it's the way of where we're going with this new earth. And to me, it's extremely exciting. We're seeing the breakdown of the old programs right now through our news media. And I do think there's a lot of news out there that is not necessarily what's going on. But the more that we get into our heart, what happens with us is what's most important. So remember that you are dearly loved, and make that a part of you so others can feel that from you and with you. So thank you very much.
Great, Bev. Thank you very much. Everybody remember, pay attention to your speech. What you speak is what you create, and it's important to note things down and just be conscious of that, and we'll work on that as we move forward. We want to thank you for being with us and listening to us and supporting us. For this session of Conscious Gatherers, we ask you to be kind to one another and share these links as we send them out to you. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.